Good afternoon. I'm Li Hong. I'm going to present Country Report of Taiwan. The topic will be special education for students with ID during pandemic closed schools. There are two topics about students with ID in Taiwan. The current condition of the student with ID through national statistics and the major events. And the other is the most concerned topic, the impact of the pandemic closed school. The statistics of the student with ID in school appear decrement of the number and percentage of the student with ID, and also interchange with the number of the student with LD or ASD. According to the figure, we see the number of the student with ID or percentage of the student with ID continuous decrease. So 4,000 more students with ID decreased in past 5 years, and also reduce account for the 5% of the student with disability. And when we see the number or the percentage of the student with ID or a specific learning disability or autistic spectrum disorder are very consistent. However, the number or the percentage of the student with SLD or ASD increase, but the number and the percentage of the student with ID decrease. So we see the interchange of the student with ID exchange with the number of the student with LD or ASD. And there are two major events happened in the past 2 years. One is the full revision of the special ed, and the other one is CRPT National Report of the Review. The full revision of the Special Education Act was complete by the task for proposal in 2019 and 2020. And we have the Special Education Act has been major revised for 3 times. The first one is 1984 and 1997 and 2009. And the major change in this current revision is to follow principle of the CRPT to protect right to self-expression, and also to guarantee teacher professional training of the inclusive classroom teacher, and also to solve the problem of the current implementation, like collaborative assessment with Ministry of the Health and Welfare in preschool stage, and also the legislation for a resource center and advisory team for the local education administration, and also try to distinguish resource room and resource class in school system. And the proposal is almost ready to the legislative yuan. And the other major event is the CRPT Country Report in Taiwan. The Implementation Act of the Convention on Right of Persons with Disability passed in 2014. And the first CRPT Country Report finalized in 2016. And the first international review of the CRPT Country Report in 2017. And the second CRPT Country Report in 2020. And we hopefully the intervention review of the second CRPT report will be 2022. And what happened in the pandemic closed school? According to the UNICEF, the school for more than 168 million children over the world complete closed for almost 4 years. So the pandemic closed school affects students' education. And the pandemic closed school in Taiwan is only happened until the May of 2021. The COVID-19, the first case of the COVID-19 started in the February 2020. And it's a second level implemented in Taiwan. And we only wear mask and the temperature check for the whole year until the May 15, 2021, because we have continuous more than 200 report confirmed case report. So the third level epidemic policy in North is announced. And in May 19, the nationwide third level epidemic policy announced. So all the school closed, and the online class was provided to all the students, included special education students. It was expected for 2 weeks. However, it lasts for 3 months until the end of August. It gives the special education teacher great challenge. The remote learning for the student with ID, the most remote discuss about the student remote learning for students with disability are hearing impairment or physical impairment or autistic spectrum disorder or ADHD. And the challenge of the remote learning for students with ID is neglected. So do students with ID access the remote learning? It's the issue about to protect right for education or to enrich learning resource and experience for students with ID. According to the survey conduct in the North, the most frequent used digital device is personal computer or laptop or tablet or mobile phone. And if the family don't have this digital device, they can lend the tablet from school and also get free SIM card. And the government raised computer and tablet to supply school, and also raise the free SIM card from the mobile company for school. And also the government construct the web for the teaching video. And the teacher gets support from school and also from the social media group. And most frequent use for the remote learning is the website learning station. They are available before the pandemic closed school. So the school use this website learning station plus Google Classroom or Google Meeting Room or by Viewboard or Line or Facebook Club. And because Line is the easier and more popular in family, so most of the teacher use this to contact with the student and parents. And also teachers make by themselves video and a worksheet and quiz from the available medium. And also teacher teach skill for online learning, just like teach student how to prepare the environment for the online learning, and also how to timing, and also how to where to pay attention, because the environment is so different from the classroom face-to-face class. And also ask them how to perform or interact with teachers on the screen. And also they teach how to protect themselves for safety. And the class is either synchronous or asynchronous. The synchronous class, the teacher use the YouTube to teach the Tokyo Olympic or teach exercise, or teacher send the homework sheet to with the line, and also the film with the line, and ask student perform their performance through the synchronous class. So the student have to work the homeroom activity ahead. And also teacher invite parents and students in the class to teach vocabulary, or teach all students in small group about the reading. And a synchronous lesson, the teachers use line to check with family, and one by one. It's very individually to ask a student do daily exercise and check the students, and or check the family, does the student finish their sick work and the exercise activity work. And also the teacher regularly check the student, ask them report their weight to monitor their weight. The asynchronous class, the teacher made the video through the YouTube or My Viewboard. The most special education teacher concern during the pandemic close period are the students with ID follow the regular routine. So they give the student sick task and activity task, and check every day. And also they concern students' weight, because less exercise and eat too much. So they check regularly, daily on exercise, and every week or every other week for weight. And also teachers deliver token with the line, just like ask, does the student do some house work with parents, or do some housework required by teachers, or ask do the student do exercise or help parents, and then give the student token. And the parents say, teachers are so powerful to influence the students to follow the routine. According to the special education teacher, they find remote learning has some advantage. They find parents learn how to teach children with ID in the class because parents can watch screen with their children. And also, students with ID share more family living with the class and to enhance teachers' knowledge about the student family. For example, the teachers find a new baby and hear the new baby cry from the screen and ask the student what happened in the family. And most of the students with ID has deficit to describe the activity happened in family. So special education teacher had to get whole idea about the family living. Through the screen, the teacher, special education teacher asked student what happened and discuss the new baby with the student. And they find it's very useful to enhance student with ID conversation skill because the topic is close to their family experience. And also special education teacher find the remote learning help them to build positive relationship with parents and also enhance student skill on digital learning. So do we hope our student with ID is no child left behind from the digital learning? However, there are some disadvantages. The remote learning depends on the parents or family's knowledge of technology. So we provide, the special education teacher provide online teaching to parents or family to use the technology. And also, there are some special education teachers have limited knowledge of the technology. So the school or government provide support group or the website resource to special education teacher to reduce their burden. And the parents and the special education teacher worry the student with ID overuse of the digital device. And the special education teacher teach students safe skill in the digital world and also check with the token system, and it help the student with ID not to overuse. So when we look at this lesson, we find why students with ID should be excluded from this remote learning, although it's not easy, but we don't lose at this lesson from the risk. So I would like to thank all devoted special education teachers in Taiwan to take this challenge. And thanks 3 distinguished special education teachers provide the photos. Thank you for your attention. Comment and question, please.